Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here, and today's video is going to be looking at the nerfs and changes that are coming into Warlock today, October 22nd, with patch 11.0.5. Blizzard announced a change to Diabolic Ritual, or I guess Diabolist, or Destruction Diabolic Ritual, the Diabolist hero talents, about a month and a half ago, right after, I think, like the first few weeks of the expansion, before the Race the World first, and those changes are indeed going through, which is going to be a bit of a nerf, excuse me, to our AoE. So we're going to look at that today in this video, a couple other changes, and talk about why, or I guess what's going to happen, look at some sims, and I guess go from there. Any weak cores, add-ons you want, links to Twitch, Discord, my website down below, you can get them for free. And yeah, let's get it rolling. Alrighty, now we've already seen these changes talked about a couple weeks ago in a video, give or take. Most of these were announced probably about a month and a half ago with early, the first few weeks of the expansion coming out in preparation for patch 11.0.5. The positive changes, Soul Rot's icon's been updated. It's green and purple, sort of cool. Destruction, we'll get to in a minute here. A big thing as well, the cycle of Diabolic Rituals is now reset when entering an arena, a battleground, starting a raid encounter, or starting a Mythic Plus dungeon, which is pretty exciting because this is PTR here currently. What's happened in the past, this is a Overlord ritual here, is that there's been times where you would die on a raid fight or in random places here and there, but you keep a pet queued up like a ritual that wasn't the Overlord being the first one. It was like Mother of Chaos, Pit Lord, whatever it is, right? And you'd res, come back, and it would keep that pet's ritual queued. It wouldn't always be the same. It wouldn't be restarting at the Overlord, which led to some inconsistencies at times from, I guess, some prog fights like Brood Twister and such whenever you wiped. There are ways to sort of game it a little bit. Thankfully, nothing too crazy ended up happening, but there were some ways to game it, and it became, well, sort of annoying. So good to see that being fixed. Overlord will now attack if his path is unavailable. Cool. Good to see, I guess. Rationale, we can do some more damage to Overlord if we play him. The changes to Diabolic Ritual. These are the nerfs. So Diabolic Ritual's been updated. Chaos Bolt, Rain of Fire, and Shadow Burn grant Ritual for 20 seconds. If Diabolic Ritual is already active, its duration is reduced by 1 second instead. Now, the way it works currently on retail, or before the patch comes out, I guess, tonight, Monday before the patch, is that they will trigger Ritual, but the duration of the Ritual is reduced by the number of shards spent. So currently, Shadowburn is 1, costs 1 shard. Chaos Bolt is 2 shards. Rain of Fire is 3. No one's playing Inferno. You can make it 2, but it's 3, right? Because it's 3 shards per Rain of Fire. They're changing this to all be 1. Now, Shadowburn's always 1. But there is that. Same thing here, summons pets, whatever. However, they've altered Touch of Rancora. So a Demonic Art increased the damage of next Chaos Bolt, Rain of Fire, same thing, cast time, all that stuff, same as it is on retail. They've also added a clause to this, so Chaos Bolt reduces the duration of Diabolic Ritual by 1 additional second. So what this means is that Chaos Bolt is essentially still 2 seconds per shard spent whenever you cast one with Ritual being active, so that's 2 seconds off of your Ritual. Rain of Fire is 1. There's no clause for Rain of Fire here. So Shadowburn is going to be 1, which is what it is now currently, before the patch. Chaos Bolt's still 2 technically with that clause being added, but Rain of Fire is going to be 1. So this is going to be a nerf to how often we summon pets in AoE and dungeons with how many Rain of Fires we cast. Developers note we're adjusting Diabolic Ritual to avoid situations where constantly casting Rain of Fire is... Basically, they're trying to fix the Rain of Fire thing, which was fixed 2 months ago. I get why they're doing this. It might pop up again at some point depending on certain things, but at the same time, like, there were no compensation buffs, compensatory buffs maybe, I don't know how to word that, for this change, and Warlock sort of sucks in general right now. So there is that. Now, I've run 2 sims here. This sim, things were updated a few minutes ago on Memoron, I was told by Saldor, who's very smart, smarter than I am. This is like the post changes, whatever sim in AoE. I simmed 8 targets, 40 seconds. This is my current sim. So I'm losing about 500,000 DPS here in AoE. But it's very important to note that this is a shadow burn build here for both. And it is not really shadow burning very much. It is shadow burning, well, actually 0 times in both builds here. So with the Shadowburn build, you're casting Shadowburn on priority mobs. You're Shadowburning more than not. This build's like full-on spamming Rain of Fire. So this build, like comparatively to what you're probably going to see in like more of a more realistic M+ setting as with the Shadowburn build, is probably losing more damage here than what you're actually losing, because you're going to be casting more Shadowburns. It's actually, it's not 500k, it's 600k, sorry, but it's likely less than that because you're not spamming Rain of Fire over and over a million times. You're casting more Shadow Burns, everything else. But we can point out here, so this is my current one before the actual changes to Ritual hit, and here is my current, or here's the one when the changes hit. Now, Rain of Fire is number 1, Infernal number 2, 3127, not a big difference here. Just like different disparity breakdown for pets and all that stuff. The thing you can see here, though, the rituals, I mean, or the Rain of Fires, you're casting Rain of Fires, but they're 1 second, basically. 1 second reduction to rituals, which means that our pets here, this is once again the pre-nerf version, are doing more damage here than they're doing in the other sims. Keep in mind, Overlord, Mother of Chaos, Pit Lord, 14.6, 11.7, 11.5. Over here, 10.3, 8.3, 8.0. Or Venus is the baseline talent. It's your capstone, right? So there's that. You're still getting them, and like even the raw percents are less here. 4.2, 3.4, 3.3 compared to pre-nerf 5.4, 4.4, and 4.3. You're still getting them. You're just getting them less often because your rituals are taking longer, right? To a similar extent, Infernal Bolts here, 0.5. This is actually like less of a short sim, so it really won't matter a whole lot either way. But damage-wise, I mean, like it's just less, right? If you go into the actual breakdown here, you can even see like the rituals triggering later on in the actual like cast sequencing. So if you go into the APLs here and break this down, sample sequence for both. I believe the current one for retail like starts with a Pit Lord. I don't know why, maybe just because it's bugged and that's the best way to start. I'm not really sure, doesn't matter. So the big thing here, like this one here, the red one, beta builds, is the nerfed ritual, the one that's coming out on Tuesday. This one here is the current one. So basically going into AoE, whatever, they're going to trigger ritual here by casting Rain of Fire. So you can see here, Diabolic Ritual Pit Lord. I don't know why I queues Pit Lord up here first. It should be Overlord, even like, it doesn't matter. I don't know, but ritual queues here at 1 second. This ritual pops here. You can see multiple rituals, ritual. It pops, or basically, you know, queues the Pit Lord up whenever it expires. Here, Demonic Art Pit Lord. So this means like, hey, the next spell I cast, technically it's here actually, and this Rain of Fire triggers the Ruination, which you cast here, and then it begins cycling through, Overlord here. Overlord starts here at about that 10-second mark. This is pre-nerf. Post-nerf, keep in mind, a different pet here, it's Mother of Chaos, but it will still be the same cycling. They're all the same duration. Starts here, same thing at 1 second, Rain of Fire, triggers here. It goes all the way until 12 seconds where you proc Demonic Art Mother of Chaos. This is once again still ritual. This is the actual proc for Big Mommy herself. There's a Soulfire cast here, a Rain of Fire cast, an Infernal Bolt. But you can see the difference here being 12 seconds, 12.4 on the post-nerf ritual cycling compared to, you know, 9.5, roughly, triggering the Pit Lord here. So, like we said, cycling just like raw duration-wise is going to be a bit tougher when it comes to, I mean, just things in general. I am on both clients here. We'll look at like, I think this is retail. So, I mean, like, there's not really any AoE dummies here in wherever I'm at, the city, Dorangal, but I mean, for the most part, like, we'll go into a pack here, whatever, put a Kata down, put an Infernal down, watch my ritual here. Ritual starts right here at 15, doing whatever, Shadow Burn a couple times, throw a Shadow Burn, Conflagrate, throw a Soulfire, Rain of Fire, Incinerate, Rain of Fire, Pit Lord's queued up, right? Pretty fast, pretty quick, a lot of charging coming in here, all that. Pretty solid overall, right? And then we'll hop over to beta, which I have this character half built. I can find my Infernal, honestly. I don't know where it is. My bar is where it's scuffed in this guy, but it's okay. We'll make it work. Where's my Infernal? There he is. We'll put you right here. We don't need Dark Pact here. We're perfect. So we're going to go into here, precast my Kata, because, you know, same thing. Going to throw the rock down manually this time. Throw a Rain of Fire down. A couple Conflagrates. Got a proc there. Good. Some shard gen. I have a weak Warp. I think we got 3 shards there. Incinerate. Rain of Fire. Rain of Fire now, basically. Still haven't procced the actual Overlord thing yet, whatever. I could have Shadowburn once there, and now it procs. Not the easiest to see because I don't have weak wars and stuff up, but I mean, there's definitely a feel. I've done it more off stream and such. You definitely feel different. It feels slower when you're, you know, casting like a few Rain of Fires or AoE. You're still casting Shadowburn and such with this build as well. You're not just, you know, casting straight up Rain of Fires. It is still a Shadowburn build, all that kind of stuff, but definitely a bit slower. And the unfortunate part is that as a whole, Warlock is a class that needs buffs. I'm not somebody who's always doom and gloom about, oh, my class stinks, unfortunate, whatever, I realistically, I think Warlock has a pretty good, solid damage profile for the raid. Even for M+, I think they have a pretty good damage profile. I think Warlock is, overall a relatively fun, enjoyable class. We've got really good hero talents. Diabolist feels really good. Hellcaller, if you're ever playing it, hitting Malevolence feels good. Even Soul Harvester, it's sort of cool. But as far as like raid representation goes, Warlock is not good right now. Destro's low. Affliction, which is honestly like, it's funny because Affliction is like, if you're breaking it down on a fight-by-fight basis, Affliction is the strongest overall. How to word this? On the fight that Warlock is best in the raid, which is likely Silken Court, Affliction is the strongest, but it is literally the lowest spec overall in statistics. On Mythic, I mean, Demonology is right here. Demo's the highest simming spec in single target, but it's still very exceptionally mediocre. Destro is here. You play Destro in single target because of the movement with Shadow Burn, right? Just overall in the raid, Warlock is not in a very good spot. I believe Enhance is being buffed, Arcane's being buffed by I think 11%. They're simming at 1.7 million now. I don't really know what's going on tuning wise here. I'm typically always somebody to be like, all right, tuning will come, this and that, but like I'm really not sure what's happening. Lock does need some substantial help when it comes to tuning. And my hopes are that there's something coming in 11.07. Maybe 11.1 where they're changing the way Warlock functions a bit, which maybe they're being a bit hesitant to like tune now, but you can just push aura buffs to what's out now and it would be fine because we're still not doing very well. If I look to, let me see here. If I look to Simcraft, there we go. Flashbang, sorry about that. Didn't mean to do that to y'all, but here we are. I don't believe these are up to date for 11.0.5, but you can even see raw sims here for Warlock. We are not looking that strong. Once again, damage profiles vary. I do think Lock's damage profile fits this raid pretty well if this ever loads, but unfortunately, you might have a good damage profile, but if your damage is still bad, it doesn't matter. We are quite, I have never seen a class this bad, like probably ever when it comes to sims compared to everybody else. And that's across 17 years playing this game. I say, I wouldn't even use the word bad, I use the word undertuned. Warlock needs buffs. And it's not saying I want my class to be OP or anything. Warlock needs buffs. Damage profile is good, it's fun to play, but and the cool thing about it is like classes that feel fun to play, instead of during alpha and beta, they're fun to play. Tuning can always come, but it hasn't come. That's the problem. And I feel a bit disappointed, maybe honestly a bit let down with a lot of classes getting substantial buffs heading into this patch. I think Arcane's getting 11% buff, Shamans are getting buffed, and hey, happy for him, have a good time legitimately playing your class, but like your class can be a lot of fun, but when your class is just drastically undertuned compared to everybody else, it's just not very exciting. After not even doing terrible M+, which is surprising here. I think Destro's better overall for like the prio damage that it brings. But I mean, Demo's down here, Destro's here. Like, Lock needs some help tuning wise. If there are changes coming in 11.1, that's great. I'm excited for it, but we are probably 4 months away from 11.1. PTR will be here in a month and a half, probably, give or take, but we're a ways away from the actual patch coming. They're likely to be tuning. They're going to have to nerf classes. They overbuff this patch probably substantially next week after. Its raid's going to be interesting for a week and a half or so. But Warlock really needs help with tuning. All three specs need buffs, like legitimately. I'm not asking to be catapulted to #1 here. I'd take it, but just something. This is honestly abysmal, and it's sort of just like I think somebody might have forgot to put Warlock in the buff list for this patch. So, hey, someone's going to say it. Buff the cats and buff the chickens as well. Sure, why not? But the triple DPS class being quite literally basically I don't know what this even is. Shaman Elemental Storm. I don't know what that is, but they're good. Quite literally being the lowest class specs and class of basically everything is quite surprising. Hunter's down here too, but also up here and up here. I'm not sure how their profiles translate. I don't know. Once again, profiles versus sims are two different things in a sense, but at a certain point, like when the disparity, apparently Arcane is simming at 1.7k post buff. Even without that, when the disparity is 1.289 or 1.39 to 1.610, whatever, looking at that's about a 25% disparity, even more now with Arcane being buffed. There's a problem that needs to be looked at. So like always, thanks for watching, guys. Wraps it up, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it helped clarify a little bit on the diabolic ritual changes that are coming. If anybody was a bit confused on them, they are a little wordy, I guess, if you haven't played a whole lot of like Warlock stuff. Really Diabolist Destro in the past few weeks, give or take. But you know, there is that. So I was hoping that they actually would like add Rain of Fire to that clause, maybe like give it 2 shards instead of just 1. But I don't know. It is what it is. And honestly, if tuning comes, it will be fine. But unfortunately, like the nerfs to our AoE, which Destro I think is likely by our best spec in M+. Af and Destro are close. Even Demo is pretty decent too. But with the changes coming, it just feels like we've sort of missed a mark as far as tuning is concerned. Should have likely been more. Maybe I should have put a video out before the race. I was just so busy. I don't think it really falls on me, but I do feel a little bad about it. But hey, it is what it is, you know. So if you guys have any week awards or add-ons in the video, links to Twitch, Discord, my website, all up here somewhere, as well as down below. And a massive shout out to all the support on Patreon from all my supporters. Thank you all. Like always, every video 1,000,000 times. I greatly appreciate it. If you're looking at supporting on Patreon, should be a link also up here somewhere with my head pointing up there, as well as down below in the description. And yeah, we'll see where it goes. There's gonna be a lot happening in the next few weeks, both, I mean, on stream, like WoW stuff. I got a lot going on in the next few weeks, but within probably a couple months, we're gonna be in 11.1 PTR. Things might change a good bit before then. But either way, hope for some changes. Hopefully the future is bright for Warlock, because it has been very dark in a negative way for the past few weeks, a month or so, give or take, since launch. But hey, you know, we'll see where it goes. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all again soon on stream. Also, feedback videos starting this week. 4 videos, 1 for Clash Tree, 1 for each spec, encapsulating hero talents as well. Yeah. Peace.